things have to go wrong for other teams for them to have that dream if they do drop the series. So everything on the line for CDUB. And for Alpha, they've got some wiggle room if they drop here, but you certainly do want, you know, just have a steady ride if you can, into Div 1. Still, into the game we go here, Lizard. Nothing too exciting. I mean, there was an early smoke, but just to get in position, drop some wards. No one really posturing too hard. Isla is hanging around by the Roche to hide in the fog. They can spot if someone does pop out, but a cautious play from both sides here.
30 seconds to battle.
Oh my god. This is a voice line. The fact that Sniff is actually in, and Joker says immediately muted. Yes, I concur, Joker. That's outstanding. No scuffles coming out.
Don't be mad. The battle
Just gonna be able to go for a straightforward 2-2 bounty rune. Not the biggest deal in the world. Let's see how the lanes break out, though. Again, we are seeing Sanctified and Isla running together. You've got the early Blightstone start here as well for Isla. So a lot of right-click harassment to dish out, just to help amp up the damage. Soul Assumption is ready. You just need some damage sources to pile on, and Empyrean has his work cut out for him, right? Like, you have to find a way to just stop that collapse onto your Terrorblade in that lane. There is the potential for Rises to just keep dying level 1, level 2. Does go for the early Metamorphosis, so there is a lot of output here as well. Tiny with 0 armor doesn't feel good. Visage with 1 armor doesn't feel good either. And it can be hard to manage, you know, for when the Terrorblade does have that Metamorphosis up. So we'll see how well Eastern Sanctified does reel this lane back in. Once Metamorphosis is down, though, that's when the lane starts becoming a little bit more manageable here for the side of the CDUB. So they should have their plays lined up. You do start with a 3-throw for Sanctified, so just looking for denies, looking for some harassment on. And Empyrean actually does go for Thunder Strike level 1. So he does want to just soften these guys up as much as he can. So we're taking a look up top here as well. Yes, there you are, Lizard. Hello. You are back. I was lonely. Nothing. The laning phase. The start of the laning phase. Not much at all. Nothing. Now, there is nothing missing here, Lizard, and right now you're only a voice in my head, so I will proceed myself. I will ignore the voices in my head for this point, because we are taking a look at the top lane as well. You've got Joker on the Tusk, along with Monster on the DP. Are the voices back?
The voice is back. Once again.
The voices are back.
I believe it should work this time around. Yeah, yeah. Interesting laning stage so far. No kills, 0 kills. I'm mad. This is not what NA promised me. I have it in my contract. If I cast NA, I have to get 4 kills up to minute 2. It's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, this is a more evenly matched game, though, as well, right? Like, we saw the stats, we know their standings, we saw the odds fairly close to each other as well. So I think this is to be expected when both teams are at around the same skill level. It's harder to find openings on each other because, well, you're kind of in even standing. So a little bit slower of a game. But, you know, that's fine. We dig it. Yeah, we've only got 1 series anyway. Yeah. If it goes 60 minutes best of 3 all the way up to 3 games, you know, why not?
Sure, sure. I still want to see this Tiny killing people with the Visage. He doesn't have a combo yet. It's just understandable, so because of that.
Isla? Okay.
Yeah.
He gets run down. Metamorphosis is up. These heroes have no armor. They just melt. Empyrean kind of blocking Rises. Does he get the last
He gets him, I feel like, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, man.
That's terrible.
I mean,
if you're CDUB,
you expected this lane to crush, right? Like the magic damage to the output, but it's It's not.
They just wasted all of their spells on creep camps on the left side. I was watching them. They were farming the creep camp on the left, and because of that, they didn't have anything left in store for the Terrorblade. And you have to be careful. Terrorblade, if he pops that meta, you have to get out, and you can't get out because of the glimpse, because of the kinetic field. And yeah, well, just the glimpse this time around. He didn't have kinetic field, but still, rough stuff.
It's
The best thing, the best thing for Alpha is it's so important to get these first kills, because once you get them, you can get raindrops easily. And once you get those raindrops, suddenly the Visage isn't as big of a threat.
That's when it feels a lot safer for the Terrorblade in the downtime, right? Like when Metamorphosis is down, you just don't get aggressive in that lane.
I just have to say, there's one thing that I basically ignored a little bit, but Visage is dropping really low, so is DP. Yeah.
It's starting to drop low up top. Monster does run away. Not quite the same for Isla. He is by his tier 1, so he's a little bit safer. What did you forget to tell me, Lizard?
I forgot. Joker might die.
All right.
Yeah, I just want to say, but the kills are happening. So, basically, I think if you're tiny on that lane, you get toss. Like you're getting toss.
Right.
That's what it is. It's not about like your tree isn't gonna be as impactful, your right clicks, as a toss on a Visage and then a Soul Assumption.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that you're hitting. It's like not helping out that much.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. Early rotation here as well from Mark. Level 5 is up, and they'll find that kill on Rises.
Big rotation.
Just moving out in the Pango does help out, relieve some of the pressure down bot. I mean, you're leaving Soul alone. Does have the Dragon form, so you can get a decent amount of damage in with a siege creep up with this next wave as well. So you are sacrificing a little bit, but it is a DK. You know, you kind of don't want to just camp that lane, as you can't do too much. But the rotation's out this time from the side of Alpha. They did manage to get the stun on Mark. He does not have mana. He does pop a mango, so you can bail out and hit 6 as well. Sanctified going to be the sacrifice more than likely, as the rundown is there. No mana for him. Has 1 mango, but cooldowns are long. Another Dragon Tail out from Soul.
Was it Tiny that gave him the mango as well?
I believe so, actually. Yeah, I didn't notice it in Mark's inventory.
I feel like it was the Tinies. What a bro. Like, what a bro. You know, comes in, gives you the... Isla, he might get glimpsed here as well, yeah.
Isla being dragged back again. Kinetic field is up. And a Visage just doesn't survive long enough.
This lane is a disaster.
To get too much done.
This is just...
It is just...
Yeah. Look, when your Visage is having this bad of a time in the lane, and he's a core, yikes. The game is gonna be hard. You know, grim tidings for CDUB.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they're gonna be able to hit the timings they'd want to here. Up top, they are starting to get a little bit aggressive onto Monster with the stuns, but he's got that level 3 Spirit Siphon. Double King is melting quite a fair bit. Does have his ultimate, and he actually levels it up early on, wants to commit for the kill. They'll be able to find the DP with the chain stuns. Good micro out from Duster.
Yeah.
Joker, no snowball to save.
It's always nice to get the these golems, and then you get the scent after. It's 3 guaranteed stuns, more or less, this early on in the game. And then another stun from the Wraith King. DP, yeah, she's tanky, but it's a lot of control.
Way too much control coming out. Never got to use that Spirit Siphon again as the chase was happening. So good punishment coming out. You're getting pretty free lanes for both safe laners so far. Double King and Rise is kind of in the same spot. Soul being rotated on, though. Does get stunned up. And the roll is out from Mark. They've got the damage coming through with Duster as well, but he does get pushed onto the high ground. Does get gunned down with a swashbuckle, as Empyrean is going to get the glimpse off. Joker with the DD trying to run up here. But you have to respect Duster going for the 2-tree build. So the impetus shots are enough to kind of just dissuade him from overcommitting. But there's the bloodbath now, Lizard. You know, we've got a kill per minute after a bit of a slower 2 minutes.
I'm not disappointed. I got what I asked for. I didn't get on this bottom lane. Well, I did get bloodbath on this bottom lane, but in the opposite direction. I thought that it would be the Visage and Tiny doing. Like, I love this lane. This lane used to dominate a couple of months back, and things have changed a bit, but not particularly for these two heroes and the way they work. So I expected more, but it is what it is. Now you have to find a way to group up and play around that Visage. He still gets level 6, he still becomes annoying with birds, right? That's maybe a silver lining. But if you get that bad of a lane, rarely do you scale into a beast Visage that everyone is afraid of.
Yeah, the timings are just kind of thrown off. Meanwhile, the timing for Alpha, they find that mid-tier 1 just with a DK push. No need to connect with your Death Prophet here at all with the Exo, so you still have that available. Bit of an invasion in the jungle as well, Joker. And kind of running around. Empyrean is chased down by Duster, but this is not a safe play to do solo. Mark is around with a roll. Duster will fall. But here comes Double King, more than willing to lend some damage out for the team. As Empyrean trying to go for the Roche deny, juking around. No, he's taken out in the end. The Avalanche out as well. He managed to clip down Joker. And Soul's left all alone in the middle of all of this mess. Is tanky
Very
as the
tanky,
DK,
yeah.
but there's a lot of output. They're still keeping the chase, and he actually manages to run. They run out of stuns.
Crazy just how tanky you are with 2 bracers and a raindrop. Meanwhile, while they were chasing him, that Prophet just couldn't care less. This man popped his ulti, took your tower. He never wanted to help out his teammates, and he shouldn't have, you know. You pop that exo, take the tower, feels good. So they get something. It wasn't the best trade for them, but they do get the tower in the end. So it's you know, you can live with that.
I mean, with a mid and top gone, it does feel like you've got a better chance now for Alpha to get aggressive in that top jungle, cut off some of that farm that Double King will want to build into.
Do you like the
Your Raid King is still massive, though.
Do you like the blink on Dragon Knight? Straight blink.
Straight blink from the mid. I mean, you were talking about a lack of playmakers with a Tusk, right?
Yep.
So this gives them at least one playmaker that can run up, maybe try to just gun down. And again, he's already durable enough at this point with the double bracers and infused raindrops. So they can play off the back of that. They do manage to rotate down bot though, catching out Joker. No rotations coming in, so he will just be the sacrifice for the team.
It took them a bit. Oh wait,
Whoa.
what?
Whoa. Ooh, okay.
What happened to the soul assumption?
Maybe it was just a single
misclick.
charge. It is only level 2 as well.
Ah, okay.
I think it flew towards the Joker.
Okay.
You can see the projectile.
Yeah, maybe there was no damage on it. Maybe he just didn't get the charges. Yeah, I didn't see it. Because 2 charges definitely kills
Radiant's bottom tower has
Tusk with 50 HP, but yeah. In any case, that Soul has a very nice camera. A little bit blurry for me at least, but I'm sure for everyone else it's good.
He's got the classic sweaty gamer camera, you know, all serious mode in the dark as they get the blink out, static storm out as well. They catch Mark. They don't clip Duster in that. You don't need to clip the damn Enchantress in that spell. The glimpse out to stop the TP.
But you don't kill
With
Edge.
the level 6 up, it is slower and let her grow. You found a big kill anyway.
Duster did try to save Pango with Wild Wing. That was a nice attempt from him. Like, he knows this Enchantress inside out. Like, all that he's doing is all these mini little plays that can give you advantage. In that one, he tried to use the Tornado from the Wild Wing to get the Pango out of the Static Storm to push him out, but it didn't work.
Kinetic field just up a little bit too quick. And Alpha again in a pretty strong position. They aren't quite invading the top jungle as much as you'd expect, so there is still a lot of room for Double King to farm. And this Raid King is reaching critical mass. Like, Armlet up really early, Desolator only 1 Metrical Hammer away. And that's when you start to group up here on CDUB, right? Yeah, you look for a pick-off, you maybe go into the Roshan, and you start playing hyper-aggressive. So despite the slightly slower start on the offlane for Isla, he already has the Vlad's offering anyway.
Yep.
He's got an aura to provide for the team. The Raid King will enjoy that massively.
Yeah, you'll have...
And Mark is pretty close to his defusal.
Yeah, you'll have Enchantress as well running around, right? So you'll... On CDUB, this is more or less your timing. I expected this timing to be better for them, or a little bit faster maybe with the offlane that they had, but still you reached it, and you can play the game. It's not like you got completely demolished in the lanes. No, it's only 1k difference for Alpha, so it's definitely playable. All this aggression that you're bringing, you just have to be careful about the tankiness on the side of Alpha. There's a mech on DP as well, like she will be healing everyone quite a bit.
Yeah.
Sanctified.
Again, for Alpha.
No, just the Sanctified blink, you saw that, right? Like he's getting closer.
Yeah. Yeah, they're inching closer towards that timing to have that movement out, to have some play on their side with a tiny blinking. And again, it's lining up for CDUB. Like once you do have that blink, Avalanche tossing someone, pulling them back, getting that burst damage off, finally connecting perhaps with your Visage and the Soul Assumption, it starts to get a little bit tough for Alpha. I mean, there's a point where Rises is still vulnerable here. I feel like until his Manta's up, he just doesn't have the HP to still last through some of that magical output on the side of CDUB. So he can be a sitting duck. The issue is right now for CDUB is they haven't really managed to clear the mid-tier 1. They're not grouping up for it either. They do have the summoner creep around with 6 skellies, so maybe this is when you commit, or at least just use that.
Send
but
the
they
skellies.
just cleared out.
Yeah.
They're dead.
It's Dragon
So just
Fire.
nuts
Dragon
them.
Fire kills skellies. It's in the lore. It's well known.
It's in the lore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd probably want to fight before he gets BKB on Soul, on the Dragonite, right? CDUB, that is, should probably want to fight before that happens. And
Yeah, it's just inching closer.
if you want to take down the tier 1 tower, Visage from the bottom lane needs to rotate in. It's as simple as that. You're not taking it. 99% you're not taking it without a Visage.
Yeah, he's more than satisfied just camping bot, but they will smoke out now. They've got that full rate packed up. This could catch a side of Alpha by surprise. They do have a lot of physical output right now. They can find a nice kill, lead themselves into that push, maybe even switch into the rush as the Deso flies in, but they don't manage to catch anyone. So, good game sense from Alpha, recognizing that you don't have the Visage camping bot anymore. They're going to try to make a play. But Double King still has that full Deso.
Yeah, they
So
also,
you still want to play around this.
yeah, they might even jump in, but who jumps in? That's the question. Mark doesn't have a blink. Sanctify doesn't have one. You're just letting Tiny. Basically, what they're doing right now is they're securing the blink for Tiny. They're playing around him and just waiting for that 30 extra gold. But there's a smoke coming from Alpha now instead.
Yeah, they're looking around. They still have this good jungle ward giving them vision here. But they probably don't want to jump Double King, not when he has the 2 lives up. They want a softer target, and they'll also not find it. Ward gets taken away as well. Just gonna go back and try to secure farm. At least Rises is just getting that build up onto the Manta. Full Guardian Greaves has been up for Monster now.
Yeah, both teams.
Yeah, the smokes not panning out.
Yeah, not really connecting anywhere. It was maybe a little bit easier for Alpha to smoke because they had a blink on playing with him a bit. They had a blink on DK, right? They have tier 1 mid lane taken already out, so I think it would have been easier for them. They might make a move on breaking top at the same time. Double Joker on bottom lane.
And they TP'd up top. They've got the glimpse back for Double King. They will find Joker down bot, but this is a bigger one. They've got enough to clear out Double King's 2 lives. Take one out. They've got the Static Storm if they feel the need for it, but it doesn't look like they'll need it. They'll just be able to melt through. Mark comes in with good stuns. Not enough space to get that Wraith King out. Static Storm does not connect an ending window. So a little bit of a whiff, but they
Still
find
strong for
more as
them.
the 2
Yeah.
supports run in.
Yeah, they still have a really solid fight. They use a lot of their build golds, so Dragonite form used, Exorcism used, Meta used. Are 3 kills enough? That's now the question. Will they go into the pit, try to maybe convert it for something bigger? They thought of it, but Exorcism is out now. Meta probably will run out soon. This is a problem when you're playing with heroes that have when you have 3 cores that basically have 3 very, very damn long ultis, right? Cooldowns, that is.
You're so reliant on that timing.
Yeah. On the side of CDUB, you can fight always, I feel like. Maybe Raid King has to worry about his ult, right? But besides that, you're good to go.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about too much. And now they start that clump up mid. They drag Isla in. Mid tier 1 does not last too long against these familiars. And will be forced to fortify up, but it's a tough one to defend. They just can't do enough damage onto the familiar. It says Joker goes for the punch and a creep and dies for it.
Joker is
tower
like,
falls anyway.
Nice joke. Hey, goes in. Just uses primal punch. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, it's maybe trying to gun for the deny, perhaps. Does get punished. Smoke out from CDUB. Walking into the high ground, they drop a ward to spot. Empyrean doesn't react in time. Is going to be the only one to be taken out. And do manage to blink out on Soul.
Maybe
They're
more.
rolling up though. Monster gets tossed up in the air. Guardian Greaves are in cooldown. And he just doesn't have the time to Spirit Siphon. The chain stuns are perfect.
That's the difference from CDUB and from Alpha, because for CDUB, they used nothing for this. Yeah, mana, resources are missing a little bit, but at the same time, they aren't missing any big ultis. So straight into the pit. Why the hell not? You have Desolator, you have Visage with Grave Chill, with Blightstone. They have to do it a bit faster though.
Still running up to get the toss back on Joker, though. Sanctified showing off that blink in a massive way. You've got the blink up as well now on Double King, so your Wraith King can just run forward for your team and give Mark the Aegis. So lots of security for CDUB, 9 to 12. And despite, again, the slower laning start for CDUB, it just feels like they come out, they farm, they're given space. They're doing a lot more with these early timings than the side of Alpha is.
That was Joker twice in a row costing them quite a bit, I feel like. First on the tier 1 mid, and then now again running and dying first before they can kind of clump up together and go. He's just doing the proper moves just a little bit too fast. They should maybe rearrange the way they move into fights side of Alpha.
Yeah.
It's a tiny little bit.
It's just a little bit disconnected. Like the idea is right, but maybe the team is not on the same page, not ready to go as Joker. Again, just farming up a creep wave. The roll is there. The avalanche is out as well. Joker, not going to make it out. Mark gets a freebie.
You know what that was?
Again?
That was like, oh, the tips.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, they know. They see the same thing we are seeing. They hit him and they hit him with, and so you die. Yeah, rough for Joker. But he's so close to the blink, he wants to complete it. So he's going into, positions that aren't as carefully chosen.
Yeah. This is the concern. Like, the moment you group up with this Wraith King with a Deso, with a Visage, they just take a tier 2 for free. They're knocking on the high ground with the Aegis. I mean, you don't have Metamorphosis ready on Rises. He's going for the tier 2 trade top. They lose Joker again?
Dead again. I've seen that before. He has a buyback, but I hope he doesn't use it.
It's happened so many times that they're still pushing in. They don't have the roll, so it's a bit dangerous. With a glimpse back from the TP, Mark gets into the Static Storm. Aegis immediately pop. Can they find more? Metamorphosis still up for a little bit longer, but not that long, and Aegis is gone at the least for Alpha, so you take away the secondary life and Mark just TPing right after the glimpse, right around the same time as the glimpse. But you're still in a good spot. They just smoke. They know. There's nothing to be scared about.
There's no meta. You don't have any big ultis. You can just go in, once again fight. This is, the Joker, he's on 2,000 gold. He needs just a tiny little bit more to finish off that Blink Dagger. Hopefully this smoke doesn't connect on him, because this guy is gonna mold hard. He's gonna mold harder than when Gork has double carries on the safe lane.
Oh, Empyrean. 1-2 hits with the Avalanche out. Double King finds it nice and simple. They could find more if the side of Alpha's not careful. Now they'll just go for the objectives. There's nothing to stop them. Like, again, with that commitment earlier from Alpha, there's just no counterplay. They're so cooldown dependent that CDUB just group up and take objectives. And it's just getting a little bit scary.
I think the draft of CDUB just plays faster, and that's something that's really, really showing in this game. On the side of Alpha, you pop all your ultis, you win a team fight, but then what, right? You need to have really well chosen fights. If you're fighting, it needs to be next to a tower, next to Roshan, stuff like that. Because if you just win a fight anywhere on the map, it doesn't matter for CDUB. They're just gonna respawn, even if they lose. They're just gonna respawn and go again, and then you won't have Exorcism, you won't have Meta, you won't have Dragon Form. It changes a little bit later on when Dragon Knight is higher levels and his ulti has shorter cooldown, but right now it's rough.
It's going to take a while for you to hit that point here on Alpha. They'll finally go for a smoke play out now. No objectives are close by, but Joker does have his blink. So this could be the difference maker with that double initiation now. They are in the low ground. A blink forward. They catch out Mark. Static Storm is there. And they should find a Pangolier. So the punishment is out, but here comes Double King. Stun forward. Manages to find Joker. No problems. Soul does reveal that BKB. And the silence is massive. Metamorphosis exorcists him back up. Isla still alive for now. They get the stunts out onto Rises, but pinning down that Disrupt, that Terrorblade seems a little bit tough with Double King so far out. He will TP out, but he gets stunned up. He still has his ult, but there's no relief coming out with everyone dead. And Alpha, they find everything they could have asked for. The smoke, it pays off.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, Lizard, they're not near any objectives.
Not near anything, pretty much. They used all their spells. Now CDUB will respawn, and let's see if CDUB actually respond in the same way they have before. One thing that they have to talk a little bit about on CDUB is itemization. Visage is going for AC. I believe Wraith King has the same thing queued up.
Yeah. Do have double ACs queued up right now. They will force out the fortification onto the tier 2. And the respawns coming in. And a lot of their spells fading. Alpha does pull out. So they got a good amount of damage. Not enough to clear it out fully. And I think the side of CDUB are still okay.
Why is Duster carrying that neutral on Enchantress? The Nether Shawl. Like, how does...
Does it?
20% magic resistance. I guess, okay, no, it doesn't. But you get 20% magic resistance. You have a talent for magic resistance as well that you can take. And your ulti obviously prevents them from dealing majority of physical damage. So I guess that's why, right? It makes a bit of sense.
Covers all your bases there, as they do manage to catch out Joker again. And I mean, he's had a rough game. 0-10-5 on the Tusk. That's not a scoreline I've seen in a while.
Yeah, that's rough. He's really, really having a bad game, man.
Yeah.
That's a...
I'd say this game could give him a Joker moment, you know?
Yeah. The laughter moment, you know? The one when he laughs.
Yeah. Not easy. And look at the difference, though. Like, CDUB, they lose that fight, they shove in, they're still in a position where they can confidently push.
Yep.
And the creep wave does fall, but nothing stops them.
Exactly.
Alpha trying to swing around with a smoke. They will have Exo off cooldown. They've got the BKB up on Monster as well. So they can try to force something out, but they play for the safe push. Just the familiars. Twacking away.
Yep.
They can't really stop them. They take one familiar at least.
They didn't ward up the triangle. CDUB, that is. They're pushing without warding up the triangle. That's kind of dangerous. You can get punished. Joker.
They're coming in. Soul does manage to blink out. Joker, not quite, but is far away enough that he's safe. BKB now finished up on Double King. So he's got a lot of protection up front now.
TB
he does
is
decide
huge.
to dive in.
Yeah, TB is huge as well with the Skadi, Manta, Dragonlance. And he has meta up once again. Plus Roche might respawn very soon. If you're CDUB, you'd really like... 15 seconds. This is... Okay, the luck smiles towards Team Alpha. They can pop all their ultis, just go into the pit now when it respawns.
Yeah. They don't check again. So they're going to miss out a little bit, but they do smoke up. Maybe look for that pick-off first. Double King is right in front. They jump onto him immediately. Still has a secondary life. They'll punch him up in the air and take him out. And the roll's out, though. Good roll angles coming out from Mark.
Nice.
Snowball is there to save. So they're collapsing onto the edge, but the BKBs fly in from Double King, so he's fine. They do take out Joker and Empyrean. They didn't manage to use that Static Storm. They'll find Isla, but they can't answer for the second life of Double King. They will still get the chase down, though. BKB was expended from the Raid King, so he can't jump back in. Mark will be able to blink away. And the buyback was forced out from Joker. You still have that opportunity for the Roshan, though, but
that's the
it
question.
does look like Alpha. Yep. Tier 2 first. Will they check?
Yeah, that's the question, right? Do they go into the pit or not? I believe that they should still. 2 heroes are down. But if the meta expires, and now it just becomes a bit harder. And we go back to the good old CDUB. Yeah, let's go fight. You know, they don't have anything now. Let's go fight.
Spawn up. Mark TP's right in front of them without any protection. The silence just messes him up.
Okay, that's...
So he just immediately dies.
That's not what I was thinking, you know. I'm thinking, let's get together and go fight together, not let's TP into them one by one and get blown up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a massive kill. That's your team fight in the pit taken out. Roshan still proceeds for Alpha. He still does scout with the familiars, so they know this is happening. They're just a little bit too far and they won't bother contesting. We'll give it Roshan for free. Second rush of the game going Alpha's way. We'll have the free shard up here as well.
Plus the familiars as well.
Pretty good. Yeah, they farmed familiars up. Lots of gold being given out. And now you have free shard upgrade for Monster. He's got the Fear on hand with the DP on the Spirit Siphon. More control. Suddenly a 5k lead for Alpha coming out there after a pretty smooth game for CDUB. I mean, if you're CDUB right now, what's a turnaround? How do you deal with Rises with so much gold flowing onto that Terrorblade?
This is just some good, very good Division 2 Dota, but very expectable. You know, you never know. You literally never know which way it's gonna go. That's something I've learned. Making predictions in Division 1 is hard. You can kind of have a feeling because of the draft and the strength of the heroes. In Division 2, it's impossible. Just go with the flow. Enjoy what's happening. How can they come back? I don't know. Someone is going to run into them on his own, you know, die, and then they can take a fight after.
I mean, it could happen.
It could.
It is a possibility.
It's a very big possibility as well. It's happening all the time. Haven't you watched this game? Like, it's 24/7.
Yeah, Joker's been kind of providing that for us. Still 0-11-7 on that Tusk, by the way. Full Ags finished up on Soul. So his Dragon form's going to feel a lot stronger now as well. They are mass TPing down bot just to stop Duster from trying to pick off Joker here. And they will chase down the Ench. The damage is flowing through. And eventually he falls.
And Joker gets it. And he hits you with Are you okay? Yeah.
Yeah, first kill of the game.
Yeah.
32 minutes in.
So you write GGEs now, you know. Easy game so far for me. I mean, they have been going on him for a really long time, and this time a little bit too deep next to the high ground, so they get punished for it. And honestly, from all the fees that Joker has made, yeah, they have been hurt by them. At the same time, the Mark's feed on the Outpost was probably the worst one for CDUB. I mean, the worst feed of the game. It was punished the hardest.
Yeah, you really wanted to take that counterfight in the low respawns, but maybe a bit of miscommunication, maybe just a little bit too trigger happy to just jump forward there on Pangolier, leads to this situation where Alpha are secure with Aegis. Rises is massive, almost a full 8k above Double King. That's at least 2 items up over Raid King, which does reflect in his inventory. And CDUB, I can't fully say that they're out. because it does feel like they're still in. Like they still have ways to manage these fights. It's just that they haven't been finding those same fights that they were earlier on in the game, maybe at least like 10 minutes ago when they were kind of doing that. Joker asking for the reason. They just get to go ahead. No clarifications coming out.
There's some laughter happening, yeah. He is enjoying himself. That's not a Joker laugh. That's like a good, wholesome, laughter. Not necessarily wholesome, but not dead inside laughter. He's really enjoying himself. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Monster's been here for the ride. He's had a great game so far. Gonna have the Shivas up soon. It's very hard to burst down the DP now. And Monster was being bullied out a little bit earlier on as well, right? Like he was getting run down. He hasn't died as much, but it certainly felt like he wasn't able to be up front as much for the team. This should help that cause.
I love this. I love this escape on the bottom lane, by the way. They saw him because of the ward. They get stuck together into the trees. Visage uses Ogre Seal Totem and Tiny tosses DK around. So they both managed to survive. They lose the burst though. And Visage, does he have extra ones? I'm not sure. He does. It's fine.
Yeah. Gonna be all good and dandy, but the map is shrinking. No outer towers left here for CDUB as Alpha start onto that high ground. You've got that Black Dragon form now coming out from Soul. And the damage output coming out from Rises is huge. Just run up and CDUB. The counterplay, it doesn't feel straightforward. They're trying to wrap out from the behind here. They'll run into a few more heroes than they'd expect. They do find Empyrean. Can they burst down Disruptor? Yes, they can. Isla building up the stacks. Has the raid pack running, but the BKB is up. And Sanctified, it does manage to run away. Rises, though, just allowed to twack away onto these heroes. Isla still standing forward. Mark, roll already expended. They will lose Isla. Can they find more on Alpha? Yexo's been popped.
They find him.
He's just copping ghost damage. So much ghost damage. He's just melting.
You have glimpse now as well if you want to. You can catch him that way. Oh, they just let him go. Okay. Well, they should be pushing realistically instead, which is what Rises is doing. He's so big.
Objective-minded here. He's just way too big in that Terrorblade. Managed to get a good use on the Sunder as well. We'll have that off cooldown. Aegis will expire soon. Maybe some caution required here as they get the jump on him. Aegis still 1 second away. Is he actually going to survive? Yes, he does. But it does expire. Can they finally get that kill onto Rises? The sun comes through from Double King. They get the control. They're getting the output. There's no mana in the tank for the TB. No Sunder left. And they will find that kill.
Anything else?
They get the punish.
Anyone else?
Can they catch Soul Avalanche? No, out of vision. Don't manage to punish it even further.
Yeah, perfect timing.
3 buybacks.
3 buybacks, perfect timing to go on him as his Aegis was being reclaimed. So they managed to. He manages to Sunder and stick around a little bit longer. 3 buybacks, 1 dieback on the Radiant side as the Disruptor. Like, all said and done, if you're Alpha and you manage to survive until your ultis are back up, I think you're completely fine with that. You forced a ton of buybacks. You also took a side. So good place to be in for Alpha.
Yeah, you're still definitely in control of this game. Double King, though, does manage to finish up the MKBA, so he's just anticipating maybe perhaps a future butterfly here for the Terrorblade. Just kind of ensuring that he's always got an answer. You also don't mind a little bit of that Pierce anyway, up against such high armor heroes. So more output coming out from Double King. But they're not going to be able to commit onto the high ground. I mean, the tree cores are still up. They can't,
he's Double King, he has Black King bar, and he has the Monkey King bar now. So
there
makes
you go.
sense. That's why he built it.
Yeah, and he's also on the Wraith King. Right? Yeah, everything lines up for him.
Triple King.
Yeah, should be his new name down the line.
And he actually has 2 lives, so technically Quadruple King.
The Quadruple King for Double King. They've equalized the game, CDUB. Only a 2k lead left for Alpha. But it does feel like finding Rises in that same spot is going to be hard to force out. It takes a long time to deal with him. MKP out as well on Mark. So output as well on the Pangolier. Nothing protective. Is Alpha? Smoke play out here. Can they hunt the Raid King? Double King will go into the tree line.
Hiding.
Should be fine to bail out.
What kind of a king hides like this, John? What's happening?
Precautious king. You know, a cautious king. Like
Hiding-
you wouldn't just bomb Cloud in chess.
Hiding from all the peasants. I don't know.
Yeah.
This doesn't strike me as a kingly thing to do, you know.
Yeah, but think about chess. You play a lot of chess, right? You don't rush your king to the front.
Bone Cloud, man, come on.
It is a legit strategy. 100% accuracy on the Bone Cloud, by the way. It is a very accurate move. No, you wouldn't Bone Cloud. I mean, you would if you were trying to play with a handicap, but still. Double King will not Bone Cloud here. If he does, well, we'll point it out when he does run forward for whatever reason.
Joker was Bone Clouding like
he was entire game. He really was just trying to force the Bone Cloud out. No one reciprocated on him. They've got Roche control on Alpha at the least here. So their path towards that next high ground is still pretty clear, but if CDUB can start to find a few pickoffs, if Alpha starts to split up and you find these openings on CDUB, then this game just kind of goes up in the air. You know, it's like you said, Div 2 Dota in NA, who knows what happens.
It's just
someone just starts running down and, you know, the game goes open again.
For me, it's always one thing is certain. We're seeing at least 40-minute games. At least.
Oh, yeah.
That's the bare minimum. I don't think I've seen a single game in NA Division 2 that ended like quickly, that the team just destroyed.
No.
There was one versus Far Studios. Sand King Gómez 1-1. That was the only game I feel like. And the first game of NA that I even casted, IO and Witch Doctor on the offlane lost super fast. So 2 games.
Yeah. It can happen. What else can happen is that Roshan will spawn up. Joker almost dies again, but this time they might be able to punish Sanctified as isn't able to find a connection, just melting in that breed fire. And the little pit of flames that your DK can do with his fireball. And they give a freebie out. So this time it's Sanctified kind of having his Joker moments. They do get the roll out early from Mark. Can they really find anything? Monster actually dodges. They'll find Empyrean in the backline, but the bash from Roshan actually helps him in pinning down Empyrean. And they'll find that kill. Exorcism forced out here from Monster. The TP does work out. So that's a pretty big spell to force. Exo out, half duration left. Mark caught in the middle of something he doesn't want to be in. Does not manage to roll up away.
He's got to buy back.
And Roshan.
Yeah, if you want to, you need to buy back immediately. You need to go for this rush fight. Or once again, they're going to be playing against that Aegis and Cheese this time around handicap. Plus the Aghanims. Who do you give the Ags to? Who doesn't have it?
Goes to Rises. Rises will take it.
Okay, sure.
So he'll have that good Terror Wave, extra Metamorphosis. More things to play with in the downtime. CDUB are playing outside their base though with a smoke. Can they find someone isolated here? I mean, if they jump Rises while his team's away, could be one move, but they don't have outpost control. Empyrean instead is going to have to be the fodder here. And they'll find that Disruptor, but can they actually get anything else? Isla punched in the air. Does still have stone form, so just going to be fine right here, but not for long. Be focused out. Taken out.
No buyback.
His familiar's gone as well. No buyback on him. He did. It's still on cooldown. He bought out the site of Vice because of that as well. But the high ground defense, without the Visage, it doesn't feel simple here at all. As they'll keep the jumps going.
It will be
onto the objectives they go.
Extremely damn hard. Almost impossible, I would say. This is Megas, maybe even game. Pangolier is up in 8 seconds, so
Double King.
Once he is resurrected, he will have Pango to play with at least.
But have that secondary life and Double King, it does not feel safe. You see that out, but they get the toss back though. Onto Soul. He eats the cheese immediately. He's going to be safe, and now they'll find Double King. Taken down twice. He will buy back. Sanctified now starting to drop low for making that attempt.
You can't even approach this dragon. He's on top of your ancient.
They can't. They're rolling onto him now. They can start to dish some damage out. Do they have enough? It looks like Double King's hitting his own ancient.
Okay.
It still looks a bit funny, but the mega creeps are up. They do kill the DK. They'll find Joker as well. The buyback's flying through though. Rises is alone, but the monster does come in to back him up. And mega creeps for CDUB to play against. This game is extra difficult. The buyback's coming out from Alpha. They know.
They want to end it.
They want to end this game.
They do have the outpost to TP too, so I guess that's why. But Visage and Tiny should be up by the time everyone is here. Tusk is a little bit further away.
Oh, jump in, monster. Just getting hyper aggressive with his shard siphon, getting fierce off, and a good glimpse back from Empyrean into that static storm. Mark just locked in Sanctified, could not make a play with a blink up as well. Buybacks being forced out. No Tiny for a little bit longer. Double King in the middle of everyone is just melting. Still has a secondary life. Can they find any kills coming out here? They are starting to drop so low. He did buy back if he falls.
That's the dieback.
Dieback for the DK. Can they find more? Can they find Joker? They'll be able to take him out.
For Joker as well.
2 diebacks
Anyone
from
else?
Alpha. As they find another on Empyrean and they lock in Monster. They've got the output. 4 heroes down. So they're playing against the Mega Creeps and Alpha. The 2 buybacks they commit aren't enough to end that game.
Yeah, what the... dude. Yeah. Just an amazing game once again. They buy back.
Hey, man.
They buy back even though they have no meta. They just want to end the game for some reason. Who was it? Like Visage and one more Pango. I think they were up in 10 seconds. They obviously respawn. Look at the damage that Pango dealt. Like he was a monster that last fight. Just
8k damage.
And now you're actually going to be in a position in which DP needs to probably buy back. Did they leave anyone? They left who? Visage behind to defend. Okay, he's not the best defender, but he can draw aggro at least.
Yeah, he can draw a lot of aggro. They're just gunning down the mid tier 3. Fortify is still there to slow this down. Rise's Age is still up for a full minute. So he can kind of play risky if he wants to here. Let's have the Silver Edge to kind of dance around with. It'll take the tier 3, it'll equalize the racks. They're probably not going to be able to find anything like Megas here. So just try to have a lane that's not as lopsided for your creep wave. Static Storm immediately out. Double King being focused on. Flank out from Rises, but he's pinned down by himself. He'll lose the Aegis.
Sir?
He still has Sunder. He still has Terror Wave on the respawn. Monster, though, in the middle of everything. BKB forced out from Rises. The glimpse back. Nah, dodges out with a roll-up.
Rises, sir, why do you fight before your teammates are up? You already lost the side. What do you think? What was the reasoning there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he just felt pressure to make a play.
Yeah, probably.
The Rax was already gone.
Yeah. I mean, these kind of plays, they look weird from our perspective. We see everything, right? For him, it was... He might have felt it's do or die, which wasn't really the case. Because DP was just respawning. He could have waited a little bit. CDUB couldn't have taken more than one side. And now again, you're going in. You do have all your spells now, though, on the side of Alpha, right? So they can take a fight, but they have to be careful. No buybacks on them.
No buybacks to come into the hard. They refreshed as well early here on Rises. They want to just go in with another Metamorphosis, another BKB, end this game right now before CDUB can find anything more. And Smoke might lead to that opportunity. They're jumping in. Double King just melting to the Metamorphosis right now. But the roll here from Mark, BKBs do fly on in time, but Monster is not going to be able to survive. And they'll find that one. They'll sacrifice Sanctified for it. Joker's starting to drop low now as well, and they'll find him. First life gone on Double King, but he's getting the chase off. He wants Rises, no vision. So they will get the lock-in with a Static Storm. Mark cannot afford to die. He will fall. 2 heroes with no buybacks for CDUB this time around, but they get the Hex onto Rises. The Glimmer Cape will save for now, but it's not enough. It's not long enough, and he falls.
They get him.
They have buyback.
Yeah, he does have...
But he can't end.
Yeah, he does... Oh, look at the throne. It actually fell really low. they have buybacks, but that's it. Another time that they got just completely, yeah. Can't. Relax.
Cheeky though.
Cheeky attempt, but you're playing into an enchantress. You're helping her a bit.
Yeah.
She just
clear out.
she just takes those, but like. This is basically NA Div 2. I always see the same thing. The teams just cannot. When we went into this game, didn't I tell you? We're gonna see a very long game eventually, and you won't know what's happening anyhow. It's like,
yep.
Every single match, I feel like I got used to it. I got used to it so much that the mid game became kind of boring for me in this series, because I know that it doesn't matter. You know, it's like, cool, this team won a team fight. It doesn't matter. Like in 2 minutes, it's gonna go all the way in the opposite way.
Yeah, I mean that's NA Dota right now. Yep. No, it's just up, down, left, and right, and you see what sticks.
And I'm looking like Enchantress. He's got a pike. He's getting bigger as well. So you're getting this extra core on edge. You have a telescope to add up some more range, which is nice. Double King is becoming bigger and bigger. This blink, by the way, the overwhelming blink is a huge power spike for Wraith King, I feel like. I don't know, just every time I see the overwhelming blink, no matter what the state of the game is, if you're winning or losing, it just changes the way the Wraith King feels.
And he just has so much more EHP coming out, right? And the slow is massive for him to just look for these kill opportunities. It helps so much in just getting that jump in.
I think it's the slow,
it's
right?
Massive.
It's really big.
Yeah, it just helps you really chase down for a hero that can be susceptible to the kiting. This is huge though.
Yeah.
Empyrean does have his Ags upgraded Static Storm. These fights can feel a little bit more awkward.
Yeah, he's got that, and there's Visage with tags too. So right now, one big thing that CDUB can do is surprise
Soul, X, held down. They've got the damage.
Yep.
He's gone. No buyback. Still
100
for
seconds.
a minute.
Yeah. Top lane and bottom lane needs to be dealt with. It's being pushed in. But that's the Visage, right? Like at this point, you get Silent as the Grave, I believe is called the Agonist upgrade.
Yep.
Yeah, you get that, and you have Hex. You can pick off targets. Even this TB, he can fall if you find him.
You have to be cautious. Joker gets the punch out onto the Enchantress.
And the Static Storm.
That was Static Storm as well. But it is, it's still actually, it's just level 2, not maxed out. So a longer cooldown, marginally. And they're forced to keep at least one hero back in base. It's going to be marked to clear out the Megas. You're not fighting at full strength here on CDUB's side. A little bit awkward for them to
it's
try
awkward.
to force, but if they find a pick-off...
Exactly. And even if they don't find a pick-off, I feel like Rosh area is so good for them.
Oh, the blink toss back onto Empyrean. They'll find a simple kill in the Disruptor. Sanctified, dropping low, has a Ghost Scepter to stall for now, but not going to be able to blink out anytime soon. The big stun from the Familiar, and they're getting good damage off. They are actually starting to drop rises a little bit. Here comes Monster, though, with his Spirit Siphons up. Starting to get the fear off across the map. You are low on Double King. Does have that secondary life and the BKB. Refresh out and rises. Ench dieback on hand. They're kiting around
Their
Double King.
Their throne is gonna fall.
Even through the BKB, their throne, it's just exposed. And they're dropping all the heroes. Mark had to join in. Buyback out from Double King. He's leaving the throne.
Yeah,
he's joining in this fight. They will find rises. But no one's defending.
Someone needs to TP.
And they will TP back. He can take aggro, but there are 2 siege creeps there.
3 even. Yeah.
3 coming up. They'll still chase down Monster a little bit. Not going to be able to find that kill, but they get some good punishment, and they somehow still hang on to the Rex. Isla is so low, though. He is not in a healthy state.
Yeah. He's getting some teammate help now. I can't believe that they're managing to win team fights, more or less, like obviously buybacks from Wraith King isn't great, but even just managing to keep their heads together, and defend the throne and have that fight, that was some very good discipline and clarity from CDUB. But here comes Monster.
And they're buying back. They want to end this game. Terror Wave is out. Rise is just focusing onto the Ancient now. Is in a good position to just be safe. To jump forward from Double King. They're trying to take down that DP. They get the disarm onto Rises. If he dies back, that could ruin the game. The Ancient still set to fall. Can they actually stall long enough? It doesn't look like it. CDUB. They give it their all, but Alpha, in the end, had the resources to close out that game. What a back and forth, though.